if it's about SEO auditing, you would open the article by saying SEO auditing is blah, 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 blah. And that would be the opener. It'd say exactly specifically what it is. So when the AI hits it, it'll crawl and go, there's my answer. Thank you. See you later. You know what I mean? Whereas if you open with 10 years ago in SEO, they used to blah, blah, it'll go, don't care. And it'll leave. And you're done.
Nice.
Right? That's the big problem with AI. It knows everything. So if you can give it stuff it doesn't know yet, it likes that. So cool. That's super important.
Yeah, nice. All right, welcome back to another episode of Sip on This. Today we have Nick from Earn Media again. Welcome, Nick.
Hello.
And Emad, as usual.
How you doing?
Today we're going to be discussing content that gets cited for humans, search engines, and AI simultaneously. How do you do it? You have 30 seconds. Go. Jokes.
Oh, thank God that was a joke.
All good. No, but I mean the back in the day, right? People used to just write content in hopes that it resonates with their buyer persona, and the prospective buyer can read the content and go, "Yep, this sounds good." Then Google came out, and everyone in the world was worried about beating the Google algorithm, and a lot of people were spamming crappy articles just in order to rank. And now we have AI, and everyone is concerned about how to get cited in AI. So a thing that's come up a lot is it different content, how you actually can write content that will appeal to your target audience, will also get indexed on Google, and can also be cited in sort of AI. So that's sort of the framing of this topic. So I thought it'd be good to have you guys along and sort of discuss what's changed with AI, obviously with the AI overviews and other sort of aspects of AI that sort of moved the landscape a bit. So yeah, maybe we can just go into that and just discuss that a bit more, and keen to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I guess like if we're talking specifically to changes for AI, like, which is crazy important. Yeah. Because I can't remember who quoted, it was someone important at Google sort of released recently that AIO specifically is the most cited AI in the world. Yeah. Because Google, we talked about in our last talk, like Google's still dominant player in search, and their funnel's really good, AI mode, normal search. But so because majority of Google searches pretty much now have an AIO, so that's the first thing people see when they search. So if you say you're not optimizing for that, you're clinically insane.
Yeah, you're absolutely in trouble.
Totally. So that's really important. So then to take your content writing style, you have to then really think about that when you're briefing, when you're creating it. What is the AIO saying currently? What are you going to say that would be of use to it? Because if you're regurgitating the same stuff, what they used to call like spinning, you take content, rewrite it in a different way, which is pretty much how LLMs sort of work, I think. But so you have to understand what's the differentiator I'm going to bring here. And if you can't have a differentiation to what exists currently, should you be doing that, or should you find something else to do? So that's sort of the initial thought, which didn't exist before, because previously you could hack it, right? Yeah. Like you could write more words, you could add more keywords, link building still, by the way, does impact it. So you still can't outlink other people because authority and brand matter a lot. Absolutely. So there's a lot more factors to play into it. But then the idea is then that you would create your content with specific AIO in mind, with the bigger view for AI mode and GPT and Gemini, and go on and on and on, or Claude. Yeah. And then it depends also on, going that level, is to say, well, is there a specific AI I'm targeting? What am I talking about? Is it a bottom of the funnel search, or is it an AI search that I want to influence? So there's so much you got to think about. Then it's like, okay, well, I'm doing something about SaaS and it's B2B. So who's B2B? B2B is probably, if people are doing deeper research on that, who are they? So, all right, well, let's say they're going to be tech business people. Okay, so that's our target. All right, well, what are they using? What LLMs do they use? They're probably using Claude, right? Because that's what everyone's using in business.
That's what the enterprise world are using, yeah.
Right. So they're more likely to use Claude. So then you'd say, all right, well, when I'm doing my investigative search, you of course still look at Google and the AIO, but then you go, all right, and what's Claude saying? Then you formulate backwards from that.
Yeah.
Right. And if it was the same, if it was a retail product you were selling, like giving information on a sports supplement or something, then you'd probably just go Google AI mode.
Yeah.
And that you just live there.
Yeah.
Or GPT for those guys. But you know what I mean? So first you got to really understand who you're doing it. Then once you know all of that, all right, now how are we going to write this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think creating content that gets cited well, do you think there are any aspects of it that sort of is greatly different to how we used to write content to rank for Google before sort of AI was a big thing?
Yeah, it's massively different.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally changed.
Yeah.
So like part of the software, the tools we're building now, one of them is just to go through and re-audit blog content that's been written traditionally.
Yeah.
When I say traditionally, like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Or a
Back
year
in
ago.
the day.
Yeah, in the olden days.
In the older day, 2024.
Yeah, but the content that was written there where it was more, it would waffle on more and
that's the thing,
wouldn't
right?
get to the point.
Word counts.
Yeah, and so the major difference is, well, word counts still matter, but hard to say.
Yeah.
But it's more, you have to really get to the point immediately.
Yeah.
You have to summarize. So because with AI specifically, it's really the crawl is insane.
Yeah. You need to answer it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without waffling on as much.
Well, I did read, maybe you can sort of back this up or not. I did read that for AI citation, the first paragraph is the most important bit of the entire article.
Yeah. For structurally, the best way to think of it is the terminology that everyone uses, chunking.
Yeah.
Which people sort of came up with a year or so ago. I don't know, well, however long ago I started hearing it at conferences and stuff. But it's something I always did. But you sort of set up a chunking structure. So you would say, what's the full article about? If it's about SEO auditing, you would open the article by saying, SEO auditing is blah, 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 blah. And that would be the opener. It'd say exactly specifically what it is. So when the AI hits it, it'll crawl and go, there's my answer. Thank you. See you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you open with 10 years ago in SEO, they used to blah, blah. It'll go, don't care. And it'll leave. And you're done.
Yeah. Because there's no doubt that one of the determining factors if you get cited or not is the speed that the AI can crawl your piece to get the answer that it needs to for that particular user.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so it's super important to have really deliver it fast. That's why I changed my website to static HTML.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to get rid of all of the junk. It's just so easy to crawl.
Do you feel that that way of thinking though dilutes how your article speaks to humans?
No, I don't think so. Because humans is like that too, I think, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because in reality, if you really think about it, when people were Googling before AIOs, there was a sort of a hacked together version of it where you would search and then there was your knowledge panel or whatever.
That's right.
At the top. Graph, yeah. And then you would click it and it would open the article where you want to read. Yeah. And you would read that part. It would take you in where you want.
Article. And like there's nothing to say that moving forward, the changes that say Google would make to their traditional ranking algorithm wouldn't be aligned to what the AI is citing anyway.
I think it already did.
It's kind of.
People just hadn't caught up with how to do it.
So the traditional way of doing it, it's dying faster than you know.
But you would agree that it's the same goal, that there's no specific, because I get a lot of inquiries in terms of like, I want my articles, I want them to be written to rank well on Google. I'm not too fussed on AI, or the opposite. I want them to. Would you guys agree that it's the same? It's the same goal. Like a well-structured article will meet all those points anyway. It's not going to work really well on AI, but then be crap on the actual Google index.
Everything still needs to be human first, brand first.
Yes.
The bigger other things, like just to finish on the chunking thing, would be, so you open the article with that simple, straightforward, what is it? But then you have to remember then each major point, you do a subversion of that.
Yes.
Right. So what's
Correct.
the point? H2 heading, explanation, little write-up. Right.
Yeah.
So H2P structure, right?
Yeah.
But which is how everyone did it anyway, right? But now you have to be much more to the point constantly, and each paragraph should realistically be able to live on its own in an LLM to answer a question, or in a whatever AI, live on its own. It should be standalone copy, but it also has to be seamlessly woven together to one coherent piece of content that's readable to a human, that also is really on brand. And a very important aspect of it, which a lot of people don't do, and it's a really good tip, is you have to then really think about when you're saying, like, we do, I can't think of anything. We do something specifically. You'd say we, instead of like say Multimedia X, right?
Yep.
Say Multimedia X is really good at providing HubSpot services.
Sure.
Right. But if you say we're good at providing HubSpot services, it would read and go, well, who's we?
Who's we?
Who's that? But if you say Multimedia X is good at HubSpot services, then it'll say Multimedia X is good at HubSpot services. But you can't then write the whole article saying Multimedia X. You have to write the article sometimes saying we, Multimedia X. Previously, people would focus on because of the E in it, we all know what that is. But the expertise side of it, it pushed you to be more, I know this, I know this. But now you have to more focus, the brand knows this, the product knows that.
Because brand mentions in like their entirety is one of the I would say it's a pretty core factor. In also getting
same with the product stuff. I mean, we're doing a lot of work about our growth marketing framework, just the way we sort of offer marketing with HubSpot in the core. And I've noticed that when we are citing exactly that and calling it that specifically, MMX growth marketing framework, it's actually being cited in AI a lot more and coming up on Google a lot more, and using that actual phrase in our blogs and in our socials. That's creating a positive impact. So using that reference, calling that, even though it's not trademarked or anything like that, but just always referring to that. That's making it. Don't trademark that.
Don't trademark.
I was never listening to you. No, just kidding. I was.
That's making a good difference.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's a good thing. But so there's those aspects, but then there's another whole section to this that people are starting to get across, but it's about the bottom of funnel LLM traffic, which is like money. Right.
Well, that's why ChatGPT is rapidly bringing out the ad platform.
Well,
to capitalize on that.
Right. Okay. Well, I haven't. I'm totally organic visibility guy, so I keep away from ad platforms. But and I know they've got given a lot of crap for trying to do stuff like that. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But previously, it would be like the shorter the query or adding a geographical location or something would be bottom of funnel, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But now it's
Plumber,
also
Sydney.
but also potentially the longer the query and based on 10 different queries creates the ultimate bottom of funnel.
Yeah, very specific.
Right? Where people literally tell it all about them specifically. And it's one of the reasons why Google also would say they are hiding that keyword data in Search Console is because it's a privacy issue because people give up everything about themselves.
So much away.
Right. So how do you target that? So that's tricky. And it's a whole new level of content creation because you have to first have a program that can do that. Like we've developed something called Negative Space, which is designed specifically to find that. And it crawls something that would take normally to do audits like that would take 4 or 5 days to generate 30, 40 good targets. Whereas we can do it pretty quick now. But anyway, what that does is it will actually go and find topics and then it'll crawl multiple LLMs that you're targeting, like back to what I was saying before, you work out what are your targets. It'll crawl those, then it'll analyze, are you mentioned? Are your competitors mentioned? If you are mentioned, is it positive or negative sentiment? So it has a sentiment analysis. Then it would also say, is it hallucinations? Right. So then it pulls back, gives you all the data, and then we score it by what it's giving. You're not there at all. You're there, but not very favoritive. You're there, but your competitor's really the one that's got a larger voice. And then on that, you would say, okay, cool. Then you analyze it by saying what do we need to do to solve that? Then it groups everything together and then says, all right, create this content, or our version will crawl your website as well and find out, well, you already have content that sort of does that. Let's optimize that.
Yeah.
And then you create the content based on targeting these ultimate bottom of funnel queries.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's often multiple queries. So if you had a specific service, let's say you were doing research on purchasing a laptop, right? And you were like, okay, which MacBook is right for me? I do graphic design. I do a little bit of video editing. I do this, I do that. If you had, if you were answering the question for a graphic designer looking for a MacBook, well, that might be multiple pieces of content that can be put together via multiple AI queries that you're asking the LLM that can get you to that ultimate bottom of funnel answer. So for example, okay, we're looking at the GPU, the CPU,
how much RAM do
I need? How much RAM do I need?
Yeah.
So if you're answering that specifically for a graphic designer, then you got to, when you're developing the content structure, you got to put yourself in their shoes. What's the next question they would ask, right?
Yeah.
Is the 13-inch version or the 15-inch version better for me?
Yeah.
Right, and answer that. So you're getting more granular in the content you're developing, and you're actually structuring it in a way as you're taking them down that pipeline to be the ultimate bottom of funnel query. Yeah. So you're getting cited in every question that user's asking to get to their endpoint.
I mean, that's going to be huge to unlock that as a marketing superpower, because a problem that we've always faced, more specifically in ads, is when people are searching for things. Take like the plumber example, for example, right? When someone searches for plumber Sydney, right? You don't know if that person needs, a quick, simple tap fix, or you don't know if that's a builder who needs, he needs $100,000 worth of plumbing work. And clients would come back and they say, oh, I'm getting good leads, or I'm getting really bad leads. And then you'd have a look at the query report and they've just searched plumber Sydney, right? So then once you get to that granular level, if you could sort of unlock that in terms of tracking and providing reporting and creating content that gets cited there, that would be a really good way of making sure that you can deliver actually a higher quality lead. And that goes back to the bottom of funnel discussion to the actual audience, because it's so detailed and you've given so much. It's not just the broad, hey, I'm looking for a plumber.
But also you can go reverse on that too, which is funnel, like I've found really important. Because as you said, people say, I'm getting the wrong leads. Yeah. Say if we'll use plumbers as an example. Yeah. Say you're a plumbing company, but you're a high-end plumbing company, or you only do pipe repairs, right? But you're a plumbing company that digs trenches and fixes pipes or whatever they do. Yeah. So you don't want like specific types of work or small jobs. Yeah. So when you're creating your content, you can say, we do not do this. Yeah. We don't do that. We don't do this. But if you have a problem with your pipe that needs, we do that. And we work on houses that are specifically in this suburb and that suburb. And we've done jobs on this street.
There's your perfect client delivered to.
Well, then it'll find that. Yeah. And it'll say, someone's looking for, these guys are exactly who you need, and they'll match you up. Then when they call you, they'll call that plumber and go, I need this dug, and they'll literally explain what they do to them.
100%. It's amazing. Because as people are getting more accustomed to chatting with the AI, and then if AI gives you that first iteration, you go, no, I don't want that. I don't want a general plumber. I want someone who does pipes.
That's exactly
right.
And then
if you have that content to match that query, that's gold.
Yes, and you need to think about also going back on that sort of granular route. Like if it's to your example, if it's like a specific kind of pipe, I'm not a plumber in any way, but let's say it's a specific kind of pipe, I'm not, that, causes your toilet to bubble when you flush it or something like that, right? Yeah. And it only happens because that pipe is broken or that pipe is blocked. You need to start featuring it. So when people are going to the LLMs, why is my toilet bubbling? Well, one of the most common cases could be that you have this particular pipe that's cracked, right? And then you funnel them down.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Slightly going back to a more technical question, what are your thoughts on positioning FAQs right on the top of the article.
I don't do it.
Yeah. I've followed a few people who have been having a lot of success with it. I haven't really tested and implemented myself. I was just wondering to see.
To be honest, I've never done it.
Well, the way I view FAQs maybe is different to other people, but especially in this world, I picture it in HTML. I don't view it as a CSS because AI doesn't see CSS, right? Yeah. So FAQs
Bit of
are
a hacker.
Oh yeah, hardcore guy. HTML, highly intelligent.
It's vibe coded HTML. Yeah. It's not even actual HTML.
Yeah. I can't actually do it.
Yeah,
I can read it.
Claude does it.
Because it's in English.
Yeah.
I always say that to people when they look at HTML and go, "Oh, it looks confusing." I'm like, it's just English. What can't you read here? ABC. But anyway, but thinking though, what the bots are seeing is just HTML, right?
Yeah.
So if you're saying FAQs at the top, it's exactly what I said before. It's chunking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So all they're doing is just taking their article and putting it in FAQs.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, to put CSS in, unless I always view FAQs, as like when you put it live on a site, it's accordion folders and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
like
too.
Yeah. So if you put that at the top, it would look weird to a human, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It would.
So why do you want to confuse a human? Like then there's no point because the AI is not going to see it.
Yeah.
All you're doing is confusing humans.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
unless so basically if you're doing chunking correctly, you theoretically are putting FAQs there. The only reason you add FAQs at the bottom is to just to pad it out a bit, right?
Yeah.
So
just that,
if it's important enough that it needs to be at the top, it shouldn't be an FAQ unless it's an FAQ page.
Yeah.
And then it would cover a broad range of topics. So theoretically the answer is yes and no. Yes, because your article is realistically FAQs, because if someone's interested in your content, they have a question and you're giving them an answer. So you would assume that's a frequent question. You know what I mean? So it's a yes and no.
Yeah.
You just got to go back to the chunking theory.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you touched upon, negative space, your product, and you touched upon citation tracking. How have you found clients sort of adopting to the idea? Everyone's used to rank tracking for the last sort of 20 years, right? How have you found people are starting to look at citation tracking, specifically clients?
People are paying more attention.
Yeah.
Brand is more important too. So
yeah,
it's still a bit of a hard one to nail down from a reporting standpoint.
Yeah.
But it's getting easier, and we're developing new reporting, like say the negative space audit, for instance. We would diagnose, say we run 500 queries. We would then say, which by the way is a lot, to find the negative space. Out of a 500 query search, even with AI, that takes hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Because the processing behind it is insane.
Yeah.
Then that would then deliver us with, say, 10, 15 pieces of content to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's for a tough client. Like say I'm working with a really big brand, it's harder to find negative space. If you're working with a new client, it would be 10,000.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, so you diagnose the negative space gap, right? Then we creating a score on that. So as we can create our own reporting visibility around that. So we would say, okay, your gap is 40 out of 100 hypothetically. Then we'll say, all right, cool. Now we're going to go and here's the top 10 things we're going to do. We'll go and fill those. Then we'll run that same audit again in 2 months.
Yeah.
Then we'll say, all right, your gap now is 60 to 100, right? Do you want to fill the gap? What do we do here? So we're sort of building a whole new reporting style for that based on, because it's just so much to it. You can't think in traditional ways.
Yeah.
Saying just citations just doesn't make sense, because it's more about, are you hallucinating? Is your products being hallucinated? Is your brand visible in a positive, negative way? Are you filling every bottom of funnel possible gap that exists? And so it's more about how do you report on that and developing new styles for that. And there's a lot of people working on that.
Are you finding the hallucinations is still a big problem, or it's getting a lot better?
It's huge. It's a huge problem.
It's still a huge problem.
Because the thing a lot of people don't know about is platforms like Common Crawl, where that's what the AI is training on Common Crawl data. So then you'll see incorrect information and you'll search and go, my website, it's right. On this article, it's right. And you don't realize that, AI is looking at Common Crawl and pulling data from that. So you have to also set your tools or whatever you're building or whatever products you're using, check that you're getting common crawl data mixed in as well, because you need to be able to say, where's the hallucinations? You might need to work out how to fix that.
Yeah.
And fixing common crawl's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But that's, to solve hallucinations is difficult because of that reason.
Yeah.
You can't just fix it.
Yeah.
So things do hallucinate. And also I think hallucinations will become worse because as people get more into the way say you recreate your website in Claude, right? And then you deploy that way and you can just change it whenever you want. You can make updates. You can do pretty crazy stuff quickly. People are going to deploy updates on products faster and they won't think it through.
Yeah.
So then they'll change it again. And then it'll be, did that index? Did it not index? Did it change thing?
Yeah.
And then also big corporates constantly update products because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So they change pricing, they change product names, they add features, they change features. Everyone's always changing. So monitoring hallucinations is going to be a forever problem.
There's a lot that still needs to be worked out in that regard.
I don't think it ever will.
No.
I mean, it'll just be it'll just be part
Just
of
an ongoing
optimization. You got to search
Yeah.
for hallucinations because it's going to happen.
So will we ever just get to a point where the AI is just citing content written by AI itself?
Theoretically, no, but maybe. But there's a large thing that everyone's focused on at the moment is what being called information gain, which I take really seriously. And information gain is like similar where I was talking before about when you looked at an AIO or something like that and saying, can I provide value here? That's information gain. So again, if you're reciting what's already exists, that's pretty much what AI already knows. So you would be providing information. And if it cited you, then theoretically it would be citing itself.
Yeah.
Right. But if you look at that information and say, no, I'm going to say that differently and provide a different angle. I'm going to look at data differently to the way they have and, again, create a different angle, create something that doesn't exist yet and provide that to the AI and publish that, then that's an information gain. So then it theoretically, and it works, by the way, because I do it a lot, it will then find your new information and that's what it wants. So it's constantly looking for what don't I already know.
Nice.
Right? That's the big problem with AI.
Yeah.
It knows everything. So if you can give it stuff it doesn't know yet, it likes that. So
cool.
That's super important.
Yeah,
like
nice.
Yeah.
All right. So for the people who don't know, just tell us what RAG is and why is it useful?
Simple explanation is it goes outside of the training data set for an AI. So it would say, instead of just answering it from its local knowledge, it would go and crawl the web, which, by the way, is often Google, but it could include social media platforms, LinkedIn, the whole internet.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why. So it will crawl the whole web. Then it will generate an answer based on that crawl. And that's when you see an answer pop up and it has citation links. That's RAG.
Yeah.
Without RAG, AI didn't really work properly because you couldn't trust it.
That's right.
And the data
it would
outdated.
be old, right? The data.
That's right. And also it was like, well, who's telling? Like when GPT
Yeah.
came out and you get an answer and it's like,
Where'd you get this from?
is this like the Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz dude behind who's giving us this information? And why do we trust this person? Whereas RAG allows it. Well, my understanding anyway, but maybe they've evolved it since because who knows? I don't build AI, but it shows you where they got the information from, what information has been pulled together from the internet to create this answer. And it somehow amazingly can do all that in less than a second.
Yeah, well said. Are there any other technical tips or structures? I mean, besides sort of chunking, which is overall sort of theme, is there any other sort of technical aspects that you think might be worthwhile to share that people can sort of learn from?
Yeah, just allow robots to crawl your website.
Yeah, don't block them. It's a good
That's
start.
a really good one. If you do that, you're probably off to a good start.
50% there.
So that's a good one. Just easy crawl. As I
Yeah.
said, for me, I just have a personal obsession at the moment with really just static HTML
Yeah.
websites.
Light
Well,
websites.
it is. I
Yeah,
mean,
light
speed
website.
is still a major factor. So that's, you can't get any faster
You can
than a
speed
static
things
website.
so quick now too.
The one thing that that maybe you would have to have a look at is, you probably are doing this anyway, but version control and being able to revert if there was an issue. Where typically if your website was WordPress or some other sort of CMS, you typically have all those features sort of built in.
It's so easy. Just for clarity, so we know what we're talking about. I rebuilt my website in Claude Design and then wrote developed that with Claude Code and launched it, and it's hosted with SynSuperbase on So all I do is just say every day, create an updated version. I have a staging version of it.
Okay,
so
you're still
when I push
right.
something, when I say make a change, it does it on a staging version. It shows it to me.
Yeah, that's
it says,
how
do you want to do that? Yeah. And I say, yeah, do that. And then it'll deploy it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And by the way, to set that up, just tell it that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
it's not
but that's an important one to sort of put out there to make sure that people are actually doing that, because it would be very simple to either do that or use one of those vibe coding platforms to push your site up without doing any of that.
Everyone will learn that so quick, because the reason I learned it was I implemented something to change style, and it redeveloped the whole site and crashed the whole thing and ruined it. And I had to go back. Luckily, I had a download of it and rebuild it. So I learned that day one. But anyway, so building that way, and then just as a tip, you want to talk technical tips?
Oh yes, please.
All right, and it's the most untechnical thing ever in history.
You're ruining it.
But if you have your site built the way that I've done mine now, and I'm not promoting to do that because maybe it won't work out for me. Let's find out. I'm doing it as a test before I recommend it as a product.
Yeah.
So I do it myself and see what happens.
Sure.
But site speed, for instance, if you're on WordPress, right? Every single SEO will send you they'll say site speed issues, and then the developer will go, you can't fix site speed issues. And most SEOs go, just don't talk about site speed issues. With my site now, I open up Search Console, look at the site speed issues, say what it is, I screenshot it. Then I drop that screenshot into Claude Code and say, fix this. Yeah. That's what I type. Enter. It fixes it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah, it is actually like a thing that I think a lot of people are going to start looking at. I mean,
awesome.
It'll probably take a while to get up to the corporate level sites where there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but for small business though, it's a dream.
How good is
it? It's a dream.
Yeah.
Because literally, I'm not kidding. That is what I do, and I look like say 404s and stuff. Export the 404s. Yeah. Although don't tell it to just map the 404s. You have to pay attention.
You gotta
it'll try though, but we've got tools that can do that, obviously. But to an extent, you can screenshot technical errors and say fix it.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So, looking at the content structure again, pretty safe to say that focus on human first.
Mm-hmm.
Do all the right things in terms of creating your content to have the right authority and to match what the citation
answer the question as fast as possible.
Yeah, and just sort of go from there.
Yeah, and if in doubt, just ask AI.
Claude.
Yeah, that's what
Sounds
the pros
good.
do.
All right. Anything else to add, or maybe we'll wrap it up?
All good.
I think we're good.
All good. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us again, Nick. Thanks for joining us again, guys. And stay tuned to the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.